tonight is the highlight of the event for me. Freaks is such a great film. I just know the audience is going to go for it in a big, really big way. And we've got one of the co-directors here with us, Mr. Zach Lipovsky.
Hello, how are you?
Listen, very briefly, just run through how you and Adam Stein, the other director, met, because it's this whole Steven Spielberg, it's interesting.
It's very unique. We met on a reality television show as contestants, pitted against each other to try and make it big. This is back in 2007. And Spielberg and Mark Burnett had created sort of an American Idol type show, but for filmmakers. And we were competitors, and we became very close friends and collaborators, and he's been my best friend ever since. And we're going on now 12 years of friendship and collaboration. And Freaks was kind of the first time that we decided to write and direct something together.
How did this come about, the story, the concept? Where did this come from?
Adam and I had directed separately and made stuff, and mostly for hire. And we were sort of, all the projects we ever wanted to make had never happened.
Of course, you did Leprechaun.
Yeah,
the Leprechaun
I did one of the Leprechauns movies. I did a Dead Rising, adaptation, and I did a movie for Sci-Fi Channel, and we went on this long walk in Los Angeles, kind of like, what are we gonna do? We got to do something to show the world what we can do, and we were really inspired by this speech that Mark Duplass gave, where he kind of gave this big speech in South by Southwest, where he said, you got to make a movie with what you have now, not with what you want to have, and because that way you can make it. And so we said, okay, great, what do we have? And Adam was a young father at the time. He had a 4-year-old, and we had a 5D, camera, and we were like, okay, we've got a house, we've got a kid, we've got you as a father, I'll be someone else, and we'll just make a small movie for zero money, we'll just make it no matter what. And we wrote a script that could be done in that fashion, that zero budget type model. And as we started working on it, people that we had worked with and knew were like, oh, you're writing a script, what is it? And oh, that's actually pretty good. And it started getting bigger and bigger, and eventually, a 2-time Oscar-nominated actor played the role I was supposed to play, and Emile Hirsch played Adam's role, and we had these amazing, it became a bigger thing, but it was always in our control. At any time, we knew we could make it with just what we had. If we had $400,000, we could make it for $400,000. If we got 800, we could make it for 800. So as it got bigger, we were always in control, which was the key.
The inevitable co-directing question is who does what?
I do everything. Adam, you can tell, Adam doesn't even do anything. He's not even here.
I know it's really boring, but how does it work? Because some people like to work with the actors, some people like to be behind the camera.
Yeah.
What is it in your case?
We split everything completely. We actually share everything every moment. We do a lot of work to make sure that there's one cohesive voice to the crew and actors, so that there's not sort of a lot of confusion. But of course, there's always moments where we see something differently, and we discuss that, sort of privately, and figure out what it is we want to do, and then present it as kind of a unified vision. But there's always one of us right up next to the cameras, next to the actors, and the other one sitting back at the monitors, kind of getting an overview, which can be really helpful, because both of those places are very valuable. And we're constantly switching back and forth. And whoever kind of blocks the scene is usually the person who is the vocal one to the crew and actors, and the other one's kind of whispering in the ear and saying, hey, we didn't get that, actually. And we just find the collaboration leads to such better work. We like to think of it as twice the director rather than we're each half a director. And we've just noticed that those moments where we each see something differently, instead of one of us winning and the other one losing, we always discuss, well, why do you see it that way? And why do you see it that way? And what's an idea that would do both those things? And usually that third idea, sort of the combo, is always way better than individually, the things that we see separately. But you got to have the right partner to be able to. It's like any partnership. You've got to have a chemistry and a trust that, doesn't have ego.
Now, I know you don't really like the label superhero. I know you don't like that. You think it makes people think there's going to be something like the X-Men or...
Yeah, whatever. Well, we think of it as a movie with superpowers but no superheroes.
Okay. And I like the fact that your superpowers in it are things that realistically you are able to achieve.
Right.
It's not like,
Yeah, well, the film has an incredibly grounded, kind of authentic feeling to it. And so we wanted what visual effects there are to feel in that same... we kind of wanted to take like a Sundance type movie, that sort of tone, and mix it with genre. sci-fi and thriller and stuff like that, so that it felt with that authenticity of like an American independent film, but had the spectacle and kind of fun of the genres that we love.